lot of count kicks nowadays, something that you've shown me, and I feel like it's taken maybe too long for me to find them, as you talked about my hip and it's loosening up my hips and extending my kicks and everything. But there seems to be so much more out of them, and I'm kind of falling in love with them every morning as the start of the day. How did you find count kicks? Where did it first come to you?
I first was introduced to the art of count kicks by meeting Grandmaster Jun Rhee. And as you know, Jun Rhee was credited by bringing Taekwondo into the United States. He did a lot of stuff in Washington and D.C., did the Student Creed, because he was the creator of the Student Creed. He did the whole martial ballet in front of the White House. He really brought martial arts to a whole different level. And he had a few students who really, you know, in the like competitions and stuff, really stick out. You know, people like, you know, Charlie Lee and John Chung and these guys, when they were doing forms, it just gives you goosebumps, you know. So anyways, I got a chance to actually train with him. And, you know, he said, you know, what I do is not so much, you know, a trick, you know. He introduced the idea of doing kicks in counts. So you do a front kick, you go 1, bring it up, 2 kick, 3 recoil, 4 down. So he was the first one that really broke things down for me as far as there's initiation, there's explosion, and there's recovery. Versus a lot of times I was so good at initiation exploding, but I never cared about recovery or, you know, missed one of them. But he introduced me to the art of pronouncing my moves.
Right.
So he would always say, like, you can say, I'm going to go over there, get a cup of coffee. Or you can say, I'm going to go over there, get a cup of coffee. Or you can say, I'm going to go there and get a cup of coffee. So he wanted me, when you did my kicks, especially forms, to pronounce every move. But the count kicks, the idea of the count kicks was another teaching tool that he introduced me to, which is wonderful. So the idea was he believed, and I believe, that there's 2 ways to improve. One, you go take a private lesson, you go ask someone to help you, and you have these moments of enlightenment, and you're like, oh my God, it's great, that's awesome. But there's another way, and that's doing something repetitively every single time you train. So he really believed that it made me think about how you set warm-up.
Right.
So the first, you know, 10 minutes of you walking into the studio, you should do this, you should do this, you should do your count kicks. Then go on. Don't work on count kicks. Don't practice count kicks. Just do them.
Right.
You know, there's a series of them, 4, 5, 7, 10, you know, just do them.
Right.
And what happens in time, it gets better.
Right.
And you won't even know why.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not something you always, but it will just stick out.
I think that, I mean, for everyone out there in dojos, whatever, as we say count kicks, I'm sure everyone does them everywhere, right? It's just a unified form that we go up doing different kicks, different numbers. And certainly I've done them my whole martial arts career. But the pronunciation part, I think, is what I'm doing now, which we talked about, and what you're talking about here. The idea is to think about each and every single part of the kick.
Exactly.
And I think that's what I'm finding rewarding.
Yeah, and having sections of the form and having every move to complement or pre-frame you for that one move that sticks out.
Right.
So it'd be, you know, 1, 2, 3, then 4 really sticks out, then 5 and 6 kind of supports it. You know, so it would have you take a basic form and maybe divide it into sections and have what is the one technique that should stick out in every section.
Yeah.
Pronounce that more.
I love the pronounce part, and it just goes into life. We start at count kicks, like I said, in the morning, and I'm doing this and pronouncing. But then it goes into how you handle every situation.
Oh, yeah, everything.
And that idea that he brought is what makes it so uniform.
Yep. Jun Rhee was really way ahead of his time in a lot of the things he did. And I was fortunate enough to train with him and get to know him. And one of the things I did when he created the Student Creed, which is one of the most powerful mission statements for every martial arts school, which is to build true confidence through knowledge in the mind, honesty in the heart, and strength in the body, to keep friendship with one another, and to build a happy and strong community. Never fight to achieve selfish ends, but to develop might for right.
Right.
So the idea of the might for right, he was the first one that kind of coined that, And he just did did a lot, and it's sad that he's gone, but his legacy lives through some of his students and some of the things that he's done. Student Creed is still being used by thousands of martial arts schools,
Right.
so he was one of the pioneers of the martial arts in America.